Greetings, Kairos family and friends. How you guys doing today? I want to drop another nugget on prayer and fasting. I want to take you to the book of Esther. And the Bible tells us during the rulership of King Xerxes, the Bible tells us he reigned over 127 provinces stretching from India to Ethiopia. And during his time of rulership, the Bible tells us that he appointed a wicked official, a guy called Haman. And Haman had a wicked agenda to annihilate all of God's people, the Jewish people, within this 127 province. And so it took a woman of God, it took Esther to call a solemn assembly to pray and fast for all of God's people to join in a 3 days of prayer and fast, where she said to herself that if she perish, she perish. And verse 15 of Esther chapter 4, she said, then Esther sent a reply to Mordecai, which was her older cousin, a relative who adopted her. Amen. She said, go gather together all the Jews who are in Susa and fast for me. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, night or day. I and my maids will fast as you do. When this is done, I will go to the king, even though it is against the law. And if I perish, I perish. So Mordecai went away and carried out all of Esther's instruction. And the Bible tells us that on the third day, she went before the king. And the Bible tells us that the king found favor with Esther, and he extended his gold scepter that was in his hand. And he, in verse 3 in chapter 5, the king asked, what is it, Queen Esther? What is your request? Even up to half the kingdom, it will be given to you. And so Esther found favor with the king, that she was able to save God's people. She was able to save the Jews. And even her uncle, well, her older cousin, Mordecai, was promoted. And so we see the power of prayer and fasting. We see that God used Esther to change and charter the course of the Jewish people. He saved them from annihilation. And so you may be in a challenging situation. You may be facing death. You may be facing impending danger. I want to encourage you to go on a time of prayer and fast and watch and see how God is going to overturn and change the outcome, change your destiny, change and charter the course of history for you and your family. And the same God who showed up for Esther and the Jewish people is the same God who's going to show up for you and I today. You might even be a prime minister, a president, a leader of a state, a mayor of a town or whatever, and you need God to show up. Listen to me, child of God. I want to encourage you to call a solemn assembly for your people and watch and see how God is going to show up and change and chart the course of history. Amen. God bless you. I hope you have a wonderful day today. Stay strong. Heart of love.